Welcome to the Behind the Bench Sports Network. This is the Kobe Bryant Film Room, and I wanted to cover this topic about the ring culture, right? And so I was listening to Club Shay with Shannon Sharp. He did an amazing interview with Ty Lue. You got to give him the man credit. He is great at what he does as far as interview and the podcast space. Um, uh, Me, I have differences with Shannon on his character that he plays on TV, but in the podcast space, man, this man is amazing at interviews, and that's really his element. So you gotta give him credit on that. But he had Ty Lue up there. Ty Lue, as you guys know, has two championships with the Los Angeles Lakers. A good defender, a guy who understood his role and excelled in it, and it was a good interview about a bunch of different topics. So you guys go and check it out. It's got some great information on there. But they got to the topic of ring culture, right? And what, is ring culture and what, and if it's toxic, right? Or if it's bad, right? So I wanted to play an audio clip of Ty Lue talking about ring culture with Shannon Sharp. I'm gonna play this audio and then I'm gonna chime in. So let's get it.
Does ring culture become a problem? We kind of touched on this a little bit earlier because now if you ain't got a ring, you
I think it has. I think it's become a problem because now you have guys thinking that winning is more important than loyalty and doing it the right way. And it's not their fault, but it's like you said, it's what is projecting to the world now.
Right.
I think it's hard to see franchises draft great players, young players, and you're willing to grow with, but they leave to try to pursue a championship because they think that's what's going to get them, to this point, to the pinnacle. And so, I just think, yeah, it's definitely, clouded our game, just as far as saying, oh, you got to win championship. Like, you just got to be a great player and a great person. Like, everything's going to take care of itself,
And so that's the key right there, right? Great player and a great person, right? And so when you think about all this, right, let's break it down. We at Behind the Bench Sports Network, we've been preaching this for a while, and that's why like guys like JB on the channel, we always talk about the young core, right, and how much they meant to us. Because when you get a young talent to your organization, you draft these guys, right? These guys, we have hope for these guys, right? We have certain expectations for these guys. We have a certain affinity for these guys and a certain love for these guys. And the thing is that when we watch these guys from the training camp on or even summer league on, right? We're looking at their skills. We're checking, on their strengths and weaknesses and things they can work on and what do they need to develop, help develop me. Um, Developing as far as their game. And so these guys are your cornerstones. They're in the community, they're involved in team events. They get familiar with the fans. We watch every single interview in the hopes that these guys could carry the franchise and carry the traditions, especially for a team like the Lakers, for years to come. These guys, we expect them to retire with the organization. And so there's a certain value to that, watching your team. And Warriors fans can relate to that too. Watching Steph Curry all these years, there's a certain respect level that they give him that they don't give any other player because they have a certain level of connection with this player. And so when he wins a chip for that organization, it means a lot. Same thing with Kobe. You guys know I'm a Kobe guy, and it means a lot, when a player stays at home and wins, right? And it's not saying that if a player leaves that he's a bad person or he ain't great or anything like that, but it means more when you win at home. Let's continue.
So I know Steve.
it ain't no guarantee. Even if you go someplace, you're gonna win a championship.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think winning is important. Like, you play to win. Like,
correct.
That's the number one goal. Like, that's the ultimate goal.
Okay, so we had a little discrepancy a couple of weeks ago when some things were put out in the media spaces, in social media spaces, that winning doesn't mean as much, right? It doesn't matter as much, right? And here you have an NBA coach in Tyronn Lue, right? Who his job depends on winning, right? If he doesn't win, he loses his damn job. And so it's funny to hear people talk about that. Winning isn't everything and all this stuff. Listen, winning determines who's on top, right? And winning to us, especially the fans, and um, it's everything, right? Organizations, they draft players in order for them to win for their franchise. If you don't win, they give you 10 years and you still ain't winning, this franchise is going to trade you. They're going to move on from you. And so winning is everything. And so this is coming from Ty Lue, a man who's won 2 championships again. Um, a man who's been around the best in the business. He's been around Kobe. He's been around Mike. He's been around LeBron. He's been around the absolute best in the industry that it has offered. Dirk. Who else was he around? Was he around anybody else? I can't think of anybody else right now, but yeah, Kyrie as well. He's been around these guys, and especially with Mike and Kobe, these guys wanted to win. That's all they cared about. Shaq wanted to win, right? And so when you break that down and you start hearing certain voices, you got to put it in perspective of who this man is and who he's been around, right? And what his job title is. He's a coach, right? He's been on both sides of the spectrum, right? Winning and the losing side. And this man wants to get back to the mountaintop. So winning is very important. So if you fall short, that's okay. I think the fans will weigh that, right? The people will weigh that and how you fell short, things like that. But this whole notion that you don't have to win. It's not all about winning. Yes, it's all about winning. There's a pecking order to winning. But let's continue.
But I think there's the right way to do it though. Like you
Right.
can't sell yourself, because you want to win a championship.
Right.
Like it just so to me, being the best player you can be, doing it the right way, grind to get to that point. I think is important, and it's more fulfilling when you do it that way.
So, Tyronn Lue talks about being the best player that you could be. And so, to me, for you guys out there, I have a GOAT formula. And my GOAT formula is there's no shortcuts, right? There's no way you could cheat yourself to becoming the GOAT. There's no way around it, right? And my formula is offense, defense, impact on winning, and winning the most with the least, right? And also beating the most competition, right? Those 4 things uh, is the GOAT formula, in my opinion. Was it 4 or 5 things? Well, anyways, y'all correct me in the comment section. But those things are that's the GOAT formula, right? And the GOAT formula to me is mastering the game, right? I would say it's like karate, right? Um, or martial arts in general, right? Your goal is to get to the highest belt, become a master, right? Then win, right? So it's a two thing, right? It's basically um, depending on 2 things: mastering the game, being the elite on both sides of the ball, and your impact on winning, right? So in order for you to be the GOAT, in my criteria, you have to master the game, right? And I value that a lot. And this is the way we don't cheapen the game by guys just running to 4 superstars and 5 superstars on the team, and then when they win, we saying that they're the greatest ever. Like, I don't believe in that. I believe you have to get in the gym, like Tyronn Lue said, work on your craft, master your craft, and then win, right? Those 2 things you have to do. And you also have to win with the least. And the reason why that's the case is because what I just said. You don't want guys going to team up with other guys and all of a sudden they're Michael Jordan now. You see what I'm saying? And so We honor that. I honor that. And that's my GOAT formula, man. So um, that's what it is. So let's continue.
Is the era of the super teams over?
Yes, I think so because of the way the cap is structured now. The first eight or the
They're gonna
second eight.
punish you.
Yeah, it's going to be
If
hard
you want
to.
to spend $1 billion a year to try to win a championship, be
Yeah,
my the NBA say be my guest.
and then also like if you're going to do it, it's going to be with older talent, like
Right.
guys is 35, 36 that's
Right.
going to take less money
Right.
to try to win. But I think the super teams, and especially the way the game is played now,
Right.
with all the
Okay, so he talks about how the super teams is over, and the way they structured the cap was to prevent super teams, right? Prevent all these stacked monster squads, right? And even the owners, even the NBA recognizes that that was a shortcut, and it was creating loopholes for people to win instead of the integrity of the game is winning through your draft talent, acquiring a free agent or two, with your franchise, right? And so they wanted your team to go back to what it means to be a superstar. What it means to be a superstar is that superstar is supposed to carry the franchise. It's not supposed to. Um, I'll put it to you guys like this: it's like the role of a superstar has been diminished. The superstar's job is to close games. You have your role players who do a lot of dirty work, but but ultimately the superstar is supposed to be get the ball in the crucial moments of the game, whether that's the last 30 seconds, whether that's the last minute, the last 2 minutes, the last 5 minutes. The superstar is supposed to figure these things out, right? And lead their team to victory. It takes the leadership out of it, right? With super teams, leadership is devalued. The third star is devalued, right? The franchise becomes devalued, right? Because this person, after they soak up all the talent and resources of the team, they're going to leave, right? They're going to leave, right? So teams weren't building for the long haul; they were building for the immediate future in win now mode. Well, what it does is now you take care of the integrity of the game. And so these teams are going to be together for a long time. Take OKC, for example. They just won a championship and they're only going to get stronger, right? But there's certain challenges that come with the team and team orchestration that the managers have to deal with, GMs have to deal with, and things of that regard. But when you look at it as a whole, with the super teams thing, it's not good for the game to have a whole bunch of stacked teams and you only got a certain group of teams that can win in the league. You want parity, right? You want things to be as even as they can be. It's never going to be even in basketball, but as even as it can be, you know. So let's continue.
cutting, slashing, picking up full court. Like stars ain't doing.
No.
Like so, you need 3 or 4 guys around to do the dirty work.
Right.
So it's gonna be a little different. So it might be one here or there, but
Right.
for the most part, I think that's over.
Okay. So that was a good interview. And just to piggyback on what he said again, right? Like about the dirty work guys, the role players, right? That's very important to a team, right? Role players, guys who do the dirty work, and it's actually um, really a great thing when your stars do dirty work, right? Get down and dirty and do what it takes to win, right? And so that's the video, man. That's the video. I wanted to talk about ring culture and what it actually really is, and Tyronn Lue explained it, right? He didn't talk about how ring culture holds players back and how winning championships isn't everything and all this stuff, right? Tyronn Lue, the way he responded was, no, winning should be priority. That's what we all play for. It's the super teams that devalued winning, right? It's the pursuit of these champions. It's turning stars into journeymen, right? And the whole goal of playing the game is look, during your youth, you try to figure out how to win on your team. At the end of your career, that's when you go looking for championships. That's when you say, you know what, I couldn't do it here. I stayed loyal. Let me get the opportunity to try and win a ring to seal the deal. right? But now you got guys in their 20s, their early 20s and mid 20s and late 20s deciding that, hey, I want to play with this great player. I want to play with that great player. What it does is it messes up the teams because you're supposed to be my franchise player. This is messing up competition, bro. You're supposed to be trying to beat this guy and his squad. You're not supposed to be trying to jump on board, right? So that hurts competition, kills competition. And I don't think people understand how much it compromises the game, as far as effort, as far as, you know, guys just being ready to carry the load, to get in and put in a lot of work. Carrying a team is a lot of work. You have to be the leader, right? There's no way to duck leadership. You have to be a workaholic. You got to grind. You got to go get it. You got to go through adversity, and that's what it's about. So ring culture, according to Tyronn Lue, is when people decide to leave their squad to team up, which I agree with that definition. But anyways, this is the Kobe Bryant Film Room, man. Shout out to the bench crew, Rashad, JB, Kelvin, and Big Dog Talk Sports.